Hi guys. Oh my goodness. So, yes, I have been Halloween shopping. This morning I woke up and I wanted to film my TKMAXX Halloween haul, which is like a cushion and like a glass jar thing that I got from TKMAXX about 2 weeks ago now. But then I saw a post on Facebook that Homesense have got their Halloween things in. Now, if you do not know, me and the Midnight Crafter run the Facebook page called Halloween Decor UK. Go and follow it if you would like to keep like up to date as to how things are going in the UK, because we post on there continuously as to what sort of Halloween things we are seeing in stores. Anyway, someone had posted a picture that their local Homesense had got a few things in it. So I decided to take the 45-minute drive over to Homesense. So heavy. Because I wanted to see if they had any Halloween stuff, and you've probably guessed by now, there was a shed ton. Now the main road was closed, so I ended up taking an hour-and-a-half detour to get to Homesense. But it was definitely worth it. I was like halfway through the journey and I thought, should I just turn around and go home? But I'm so glad I didn't, because I just love everything which I found. So I'm just gonna dive right in and do my like proper first official Halloween haul of 2017. To start off this haul, I'm going to begin with this. Now, as you can see, Homesense wrapped all of my stuff up. Thank you so much to Homesense, because last time we had a few issues with TKMAXX and Homesense not wrapping up, especially like their ceramic and their glass goods. So I was very, very pleased when the lady told me that she was going to wrap these up. And as you can see, it's not damaged at all from the journey from the shop to my car to my room. So I'm very pleased with that. So the first thing I got was this mug, and I did actually get 2 of them because they're just so adorable and I felt like they needed to be friends, and I was very pleased with the quality of them. So I bought one of these mugs last year, and I did actually buy one for the moon and stars, I believe, as well. And it was in a cauldron shape. Now they do this one again this year where it's a cauldron shape. It has a little purple spider on the side. You may remember it from one of my hauls that I did last time. But the only thing I noticed with that is that they did have quite a lot of chips on them, and I wasn't really that pleased with the quality of them. It did seem like a very, very cheap mug, and the kind of mug I would be worried to like use frequently as like a drinking mug. I feel like for most of these things, they're making them for like a one-night use thing, and of course we want all year round. So very pleased this year when I found this mug, and when I picked it up, it definitely felt different to the cauldron mug. I did actually pick up the cauldron mug as well, and it did feel like they'd revamped it slightly, and it was almost like it was a nicer ceramic and all the painting was a lot nicer and neater. So I ended up buying 2 of these. I didn't get another cauldron one. They did also have a mummy one as well. Now mummies aren't really too much my thing, but it was really cool. I was considering it, but I ended up just going for 2 jack-o'-lanterns. The other reason was I was a little bit scared that one of them was going to break and that I wouldn't have a backup. So I had to get both of them. So I loved the detail of it. It does have proper like ridges to it. The inside as well also has that kind of ridged feel to it, so it isn't like fully smooth on the inside. But the outside is 2 different shades of orange. It's slightly darker on this bit, and then in the kind of creases as such, it is like a light colour orange. And then they all have the same jack-o'-lantern face, which is very, very classic. I absolutely love, love, love my classic jack-o'-lantern pumpkin faces. So I was really pleased with this. It does have a black handle, and this seems to have just been kind of hand painted on there. There is a little bit of black that has gone onto the orange, but it's really, really, really not noticeable. Underneath it says that this is made by the Terramoto Ceramic Company, and it does also say that it is dishwasher and also microwavable safe. So there you go, maybe that is why they feel slightly better quality, because I'm pretty sure the other ones were definitely not dishwasher safe because they would have chipped straight away. So as you can see from the sticker, I have left all the stickers on. This was $4.99, and I definitely felt like it was worth that price. I've seen people buying similar mugs to this, and especially mugs of this size. It's definitely a larger size mug. It doesn't look that tall, but it is very wide. Like, I got a good hefty cup of tea in mine. Like, this is gonna sort me for a while. And I've seen people buying things like this on Amazon for around $12.99, so I was particularly pleased with the $4.99 price tag. And hopefully you can see, but on the inside kind of away from the face, it does actually say Happy Halloween written in there. So for under £10. So for under £10, I thought that these two mugs were quite a good bargain. The other thing I did want to mention as well is that last year there was a lot of complaints, me included, is companies putting these stickers on the outside of their items rather than on the bottom, because when it is on ceramic it is really hard to get off. Earlier when I was trying to take the sticker off the other one, I went to peel it, it wouldn't come off, and then it did the classic, when it does start to peel it leaves this kind of white layer underneath, and honestly it's the most frustrating thing. However, I have worked out how to get around this. What I did is I just ran this underwater for about 30 seconds. I then took a scratchy pad and I very lightly scratched it, and it did actually come off. I'm sure the longer you soak it underwater, the easier this will be to come off, and it didn't leave any like sticky residue or scratches on my ceramic. So I was really pleased with that. So I definitely say if you're taking these stickers off, make sure they're wet rather than just peeling them off dry. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a tea towel. Now, I'm sure you're getting deja vu from last year because I bought a hella ton of tea towels. Now what I did with some of my tea towels, I have a handy example right here. Let me just move a few of my friends to get to it. I made cushions out of my tea towels. So I did actually make a video tutorial of this, but it's basically just a tea towel sewed at the bottom and sewed up the sides, and it's full of stuffing. And that's how I make some of my Halloween cushions, because Halloween fabric itself is so expensive to buy and the tea towels aren't too pricey. So I went in with the same kind of thought when I was buying tea towels. Now some of the tea towels I did use for like making plushies and things. I have quite a few still hung up on the side of my wall waiting for when I do need to use a tea towel. But I did kind of go with the mindset that maybe I'd be making cushions out of these, or maybe I'd be using them for something else. So this was the first tea towel I got. It is from the company En Vogue, which is the same company that made a lot of the tea towels which I bought last year. It is a set of 2 tea towels. They are 100% cotton, which is really good. Inside it does give you a recipe as to how to make witch's brew, and these cost me £4.99. So the thing I like is that you kind of get 2 different designs. So the first design is this kind of plain white background with grey dots, and then you've got 3 cats. So you've got your mummy cat, your witch cat, and also your little skeleton cat. So I really like that. I also like the fact there was a little dead fish there as well, and a broomstick to go with the witch's cat. And then it is also lined with this orange bit around the bottom. So now that you've seen the beautiful packaging, I can actually rip this apart and actually see what it looks like when it's open, because I'm pretty sure it does only have 1 set of cats on it. Now it is your regular size tea towel. It is very spotty at the top, and I was right, it does only have 1 little set of cats at the bottom. So if I was to be folding this over my tea towel rack, I would have it like this. Now potentially again, if I was making this into a cushion, it would look like this, and it would just have the tiny 3 little cats at the bottom. But I think I'll probably be using this as a tea towel because the pattern isn't like repeated enough to make like a very effective Halloween cushion. So the other tea towel that came again is the same size and 100% cotton, but this one has our 3 little cats completely repeated all over it. It's absolutely adorable. I do really like the fact that from a distance the witch cat really stands out. So again, I will probably be making this into a cushion. I have to say I don't really buy tea towels any other time of the year, so I don't know if £4.99 is kind of expensive for tea towels, but the way I do look at it is it's kind of more like I'm buying Halloween fabric rather than tea towels. So the next thing I got was this little tombstone, and I really like this. I saw that the Midnight Crafter had picked up one of these. I kind of thought I'm never going to find one of those. It just seemed like one of those things that would go straight away. Very highly detailed. Now when I saw these in the pictures, I did think that these were ceramic, but it seems like these are just like a very sturdy resin. It's definitely more like a plastic than a ceramic, and it does have a little skull there. It says RIP, which is fully cut out, and I will show you why in a minute. And then the bottom has a very kind of lavish, like detailed look to it. I love the colour of it. I love the fact that it looks slightly aged from like the different colours within it. And underneath, it wasn't until I picked it up I saw this, it did have a little tab in it, and when you turn on the button it does light up various different colours. Hopefully you can see that, but the light is inside and you can see that it is actually showing it through the plastic, so I don't think it's probably that thick there, although it doesn't feel brittle at all. It like isn't bending or caving in on me, so it's obviously thin enough for the light to be showing through, but it's definitely like not gonna bend or anything like that. But it just has this kind of disco-y, flashy light inside. I'm sure when it is completely pitch dark, the light will be shining through this RIP, so it's gonna look really cool. I don't tend to normally kind of be drawn to things that flash like this, but I did really like the way it looked like without the flashing feature. And it did also only cost me $3.99, so I was very pleased with it because it is like quite a nice size. At first I did also think that these were salt and pepper shakers, but when I saw them in real life, they were definitely too big to be salt and pepper shakers. And also I did want to mention on the bottom it does have 4 little foam circles, just so that you can put this on a surface without worrying about it scratching. Now while I am showing you this, is probably around the right time to also show you this. So I did get another one. Again, it does exactly the same thing with our like flashy disco light that's going on in there, but as you can see, although they are the same sort of height and sort of design, and obviously from the same people, it is slightly different. This one's in more of like an archway shape. It does have a very realistic skull coming out the top. This one says rest in peace, and it does have a skull there, and his eyes have been cut out. Again, I think when this is dark, a lot of the light is going to be coming through those eyes. And again, it's very ornate. It has that very sort of stone look to it, and it is just made out of this resin. So for £4 each, I thought that this was a pretty good price. It does have like the added flashing feature, which I wasn't really like too crazy about. I would have got them if it didn't have the flashing feature. You can actually swap and change the batteries, so I'll probably be taking the batteries out of this just so that they don't explode, but it does also mean if they do stop working, you can easily replace the batteries and they will last forever. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a snow globe. Oh, I love snow globes. I have no space for this snow globe or the other one which I bought. Again, it was posted on the Halloween Decor UK page, and I saw this and I really like the look of it. I have so many. So I think I have about 10 different snow globes, which I bought last year from TKMAXX. But when I saw this one, I just had to have it. I really like the look of it, and it just made me laugh a little bit. Inside the snow globe, when you shake it, it does have black glitter and tiny little bats which are floating around. Now the main design is like a cemetery, so the bottom of it has this brickwork with kind of like a mossy colour on there, which I really love it when they add this sort of extra detail. And it is like a full kind of resin as well. It has these 2 little gargoyles. I love gargoyles. 2 little gargoyles there with the cemetery and some gates, and there are tiny little skulls either side. And then going up to this, now that the glitter has settled, you can see it a bit better. There is a skull with a top hat, and he's got his arm coming up to the top of his hat, and his clothes have sort of moulded away, so you can see all like the detail of his bones coming out of his arm. And then right there, there is a little tombstone is the word I was looking for, and it says rest in pieces, Mr. and Mrs. Bones, so that's quite nice. And then if I hold it this way, you can probably see there are 2 tiny little skulls. One is meant to be like a bride, so she's wearing a veil, and then a little man skull with a top hat and a few little bones. I've definitely noticed that there is a lot of wedding themed snow globes, so if you are getting married around this time, or if you are having a spooky wedding, which I'm sure a lot of us would dream for, there is a lot of these really nice sort of wedding themed Halloween snow globes, which I guess is something I never thought I needed, but apparently I do. So this snow globe is incredibly heavy, and it costs $4.99. It does say that these cannot be sold to children under 14, so I have no idea what that's all about. But it does also have, at the bottom, I do have I think 2 other ones. It does have a little music box. So the song that this plays is the one, I'm pretty sure it's from like The Wizard of Oz or something. It's the one about Witch Old Witch, the Wicked Witch is dead, that one. But it's a really nice tune. I probably won't be playing it much. I think I've played the musical one I have over there about 4 times. But that's a nice little added feature, and it's all like wound up at the bottom, and sits very flush on the table, so it doesn't really affect the snow globe. Okay, so next up, I think it's probably time for another set of tea towels. These are from a different company. This company is from Hallows Eve, and again it's 2 tea towels. It doesn't say anything about what material these are made out of, but they feel very similar to the other ones, so I wouldn't be surprised if these are also 100% cotton. Now these cost $4.99. Now one of the tea towels I have to say I'm not like the biggest fan of in the world, because it is just this like black spotty tea towel print, which I don't think is particularly spooky if you ask me. But then again, I probably would pick up like a black and white spotty tea towel if I was in like Sainsbury's or something shopping for tea towels. The other thing I thought as well is that because it's a very kind of almost neutral type of fabric, this could work really well as like a backing fabric. I am planning to make a drawstring bat bag. Okay, so I did need some kind of fabric to go on the inside, so I thought maybe this, because it is quite neutral, but at the same time I think it will kind of really finish off a piece. The other tea towel is sort of the reason why I bought this tea towel set, and it is this tea towel. Now I think I may be making this into a cushion. I'm not too sure yet, but I just really liked the uniqueness, I guess, of this one. I don't usually tend to go for white tea towels, just because white tea towels very easily become grey and orange and dirt coloured tea towels. But I did really like the design. The bottom edge of the tea towel, it does have this really nice layer of lace. I have never seen lace on a tea towel before. Maybe I'm just very uneducated in the world of tea towels, but I was very excited by the lace. It does also have a strip of this black and white spotty fabric as well. I do want to go back and actually just say that this lace isn't fully attached. It's only attached on the sides, so it does flap around a little bit. And then right up there is a little embroidered skull motif, I guess. It's very similar to a cup that I bought last year, and I do really love it with these kind of twirly designs, but still having all these little spider webs and things coming off of them and little spiders. I think it's so gorgeous. Of course you have your skull in the middle. There's like silver detailing here, and of course my favourite bit is the fact that there is a cute little bat at the top, so I was really pleased with that. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it, whether or not I'm going to make it into a cushion, but I feel like maybe if I made it into like a small cushion, maybe that size, it may look quite cute. I don't know yet, but I just really liked it. $4.99 again is slightly more expensive than I would usually want to pay for a tea towel, but I just thought, whatever, it's Halloween. So the next thing I got was this cute little witch. Now I did actually see her, and at first I wasn't too like keen. I wasn't thinking yeah I want that, because firstly I was just like looking at these mugs. She was sat with the mugs, so I was kind of drawn into the pumpkins first. And she was sat with a friend. Now her friend looked kind of the same. I didn't really like her friend's dress, and she was also holding a weird looking broomstick. And although I did like her, don't get me wrong, if I had seen her alone I probably would have bought her. When I saw this lovely lady sat next to her, I just had to have her. I just thought she was so gorgeous. Now I was trying to refrain from buying too much just because I have no space, and then I only went and bought like the tallest witch there was going, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with her. She is very heavy in the bottom department. A lot of us are, and I think that she is meant to be either kind of like a shelf sitter with her little legs dangling down, or potentially she could sit on the floor as a doorstop, but I don't think I'd like to keep her on the floor, to be honest, because she is just so pretty and I just wouldn't want her to get damaged down there. But saying that, she is very nicely made. She is covered in all this fluff, which I think is from like the way that they packed her and her hair and things, so I have had to give her a little bit of like a scrub down as such to get a bit of this fluff off, but she's just so gorgeous. So I'm just going to show you her bit by bit, just because there is so much detail all over her. So first off, you've got her lovely witch's hat. Now this is very squishy. It's like the squishiest thing ever. It does feel like an almost like satiny polystyrene feeling hat, but there is some kind of structuring in there to keep this rim out. It does have a little like see-through black ribbon, and then this kind of gold sort of orangey ribbon, and then going onto her face, I think she's actually a really pretty witch. I hate it when witches are depicted as like really ugly, so I do tend to get drawn mainly to pretty witches, but I think she's relatively pretty. She's got a very long nose, and she's got brown eyes with little eyelashes, and they've even sort of drawn in her eyebrows, and she's got some lovely red lipstick on, and her hair is just gorgeous. I wish I could get my hair to look like this. But it's this kind of like grey and white mixture, and she has quite a good like full head of hair. It's quite thick and it's very voluptuous, so I'm very jealous of her hair. Hopefully you can see, but the kind of white bits of her hair have been sort of curled by wrapping tiny like silvery grey bits of string around them to give them this almost kind of curly effect, and then also add in a little bit more kind of colour and depth rather than them just being fully white. And there are also loads of different like thicknesses, like that bit is obviously very thin, then you've got some very kind of thick and frizzier pieces. I am going to put out a kind of disclaimer as such. If you're not a fan of cotton wool, now I have no problem with cotton wool, but I know some people really do not like the feel of cotton wool. Her hair feels a lot like cotton wool. It has exactly the same texture, so I'd say if you do have like a very big phobia of cotton wool, I wouldn't go fiddling with her hair. I know that's a bit of a random thing to say, but it's probably very helpful if you have a fear of cotton wool. Anyway, going down onto her dress, she has this little collar on, which is again this sort of ribbon that's all sort of crinkled round, and then she has this orangey gold bow right there in the middle with a little orange diamond, and her actual bodice is this black material. It does actually have like felted design on it. It's very, very gorgeous. I love this. I can never say it's like Damsk or something design, but it's very, very pretty. And also if you do have a sneaky look under her skirt, you'll see that it does carry down to her bottom, so the full kind of central part of her body is made of this. Now this isn't squishy, this is very hard. Hopefully you can hear it's full of like little beads as such, which definitely gives her a lot of weight down there, and it doesn't make her like cuddly. I mean, I guess it's slightly more squishy at the top, but I would not say she is a cuddly toy. She's definitely more of like a display piece. Her dress kind of carries down onto her arms. Her arms are like naturally bent, and she has little gold orangey spots on her sleeves. She has a lovely little lace bits at the bottom, and then comes down obviously to her hands. She's holding this super friendly little ghost. I love this little ghost. This is one of the main reasons why I bought her, because I thought this ghost looked so friendly with its little rosy cheeks. I just thought they made like such a cute couple together. Her skirt goes down into like a full skirt of the same sort of spotty material that her arms have, and then it has these various little bits of like see-through ribbony petticoat material, but it does kind of give a bit of volume to the dress. I definitely feel it's like an amazing sort of detail to add. I love all the detail that they've put into her outfit rather than just dressing her in just a plain black dress. So her long dangly legs are actually quite squishy and soft. They are just a plain black material, and then we go down to her gorgeous witchy boots. So they are in your classic witchy pointed shape with a little heel. Right at the front it does have a little gem, exactly the same as the one on her neck, and it does again have a little like ruffle around the outside, which just finishes the whole thing off. So I was really pleased with this witch. I pretty much fell in love with her as soon as I saw her. I just thought she was so gorgeous, and she cost $12.99. I thought that was so good. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I thought $12.99 was an absolute steal for this cute little witch. And as I said, there was another one. She was wearing a different dress, which I didn't like quite as much, and she had a broomstick. So if you are more of a broomstick fan than a little cute ghosty fan, then definitely they do a few variants. I've got fluff in my mouth. But I would like to see what other things they come up with. I love, love, love those kind of primitive dolls like this, especially if they have pumpkin heads. So I'm really excited they bring out any other ones in this range. She doesn't actually have any like proper labels or anything on her, so she doesn't have like a make as such. But if anyone knows which company make these, potentially we may be able to find a bigger range of these awesome, amazing doll decoration doorstop things. So the last thing in my massive Homesense bag is this, and have to say, like, at first I wasn't exactly like, wow, I need that, like, straight in the basket. But the more times I walked past it, the more times that I wanted it. It's very different to what I normally get. I don't actually have that many kind of skeleton themed things. Not that I have anything against skeletons. I mean, we are all skeletons deep down anyway. But I saw this and I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna get it because it is slightly different, and I like the fact that it's not kind of your very conventional classic looking snow globe. So this is my skeleton snow globe, and I didn't actually realise until after I bought it that I think the houses are meant to be made out of his skin. Like, I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's what I'm kind of starting to think. This is our little skeleton guy who was holding this snow globe ball. He is very detailed, as you can see, even on the back, which you wouldn't normally see. All of his bones are definitely like properly formed, and even when you look through the snow globe, I don't know how well you're going to see it, but you can see that in the like far background, like back here, you can see that there's obviously detail for the inside of his rib cage as well. His arms are very detailed, and he sat in a cross-legged position with his hands holding the ball, and he is kind of sat on this like weird stone thing, but I really liked the way that this whole thing kind of sat, I guess. It does have little bits at the bottom so that it doesn't scratch your surfaces, which is nice, and then inside it does have this haunted house. The glitter again is black glitter with tiny little bats flying around. I love the tiny little bats that they put in here. I wish all snow globes have tiny little bats in them. So hopefully you can start to see as this settles that this snow globe is completely white inside as well. I think there was another thing that I wasn't quite sure about, is the fact that it is so white, but I guess there is no problem with things being completely white. But there are these two houses. To me, they look like haunted, spooky houses. They've got very kind of almost Tim Burton-esque roofs and windows to them, as they're all kind of on a bit of a wonk. And the reason why I'm starting to think these are made out of his skin is because they've got stitches all over them, which at first made me think this is Frankenstein's house because his house is covered in stitches. But the more I think about it, it is a skeleton holding a house covered in skin. Maybe not, maybe... I don't know. But yeah, I really like the actual kind of haunted house kind of view of this. It does have a little gravestone there, and there are these two little white pumpkins. I'm not sure how well you could see these. If I could break this open, I would probably paint those pumpkins orange, because never in my life have I seen a fully white pumpkin. But I'm not complaining because it doesn't matter what colour the pumpkins are. I love pumpkins. I swear, literally, by November the 1st, I'm going to have the biggest guns ever, because these snow globes are so heavy. And I'm pretty sure these aren't going to be the last snow globes I'm going to be buying this year. But I really liked the look of this. This snow globe was £14.99. I don't remember how much the other one was. Yeah, the same price as the other one, £14.99. So although this one doesn't make a sound, it's definitely slightly bigger. I'd probably say it's slightly heavier. It's a really, really nice quality, and I'm very, very pleased with it. I'm not sure where I'm going to put him, but I thought it was just a very sort of unique looking snow globe. So that is everything which I got from the elusive Homesense. I paid 10p for pretty much the biggest bag in the whole land. Homesense, if you do not know, is also linked with the shop TKMAXX, which is another big seller of Halloween things in the UK. And from what I can tell, in America they have TJMAXX, which is meant to be the same as TKMAXX. And if our TKMAXX is meant to be the same as Homesense, then who knows, maybe you'll be able to find some of these things in America in their TJMAXX. Right, that was very confusing. I have seen a few things popping up in TKMAXX, and I am just literally gonna sit down now and film my second Halloween haul, which were two little things I got from TKMAXX. So thank you for watching. I hope that you're feeling very autumny in August now. If you do have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. If it's sunny where you are, I hope you enjoy the shade, and I'll see you next time. Bye!